Hello, dear students. I am Ms. Rasna Lakhotia, your biology teacher. Today, let's start a new unit, that is structural organization in plants and animals, that is unit 2 from your NCERT book. Okay, and from this we'll start chapter 5. Chapter 5 is the first chapter for this unit. Okay, the name of the chapter is Morphology of Flowering Plants. So, the wide range in the structure of higher plants will never fail to fascinate us, isn't it? Even though the angiosperms, you know what angiosperms are? The plants that bear flowers and seeds, okay? So, even though the angiosperms show such a large diversity in external structure or morphology, the external structure is the morphology, okay? They are all characterized by presence of roots, stems, leaves, flowers and fruits. In chapters 2 and 3, we talked about classification of plants based on morphological and other characteristics. For any successful attempt at classification and at understanding any higher plant or any living organism, okay, we need to know standard technical terms and standard definitions. We also need to know about the possible variations in different parts found as adaptations of the plants to their environment. Example, adaptations to various habitats for protection, climbing, storage, etc. Okay. If you pull out any weed, you know weed, those are the unwanted plants that grow around in the field, isn't it? So if you pull out any weed, you'll see that all of them have roots, stems and leaves. They may be bearing flowers and fruits, isn't it? The underground part of the flowering plant is the root system, while the portion above the ground forms the shoot system. Okay, so in this chapter, we'll learn about the structure or the morphology of these plants. Okay, we'll start with root. So root is defined as the descending part of the plant axis, that is the part of the plant that exists on the soil, okay, inside the soil. It is positively geotropic, okay, it is positively hydrotropic, okay, and it is negatively phototropic. That is, it moves away from the sun and it moves towards the earth or soil and towards the water. Okay, and it is developed or it develops from the radicle of the embryo during seed germination. And roots are generally non-green and cylindrical. Okay, they produce only similar organs, that is secondary and tertiary roots. They do not show any nodes and internodes. Nodes and internodes are the characteristics of stems. Okay, so roots, they do not show any nodes and internodes. So if you see this diagram over here, at the bottom you can see a labeling called root cap. Okay, so that is the reason of root cap. The tender apex of the root is protected with a multicellular cap like structure called root cap. Okay, the cells of the root cap, it secrete mucilase for lubricating the passage of root through the soil. And above the root cap you can see region of cell division or meristematic region. Okay, it is a small region about 1 millimeter in length. This is the growing part of the root and is protected by the root cap. So this is the meristematic region, means it has meristematic tissues, and you know meristematic tissues help the elongation of roots. Okay, and it is made up of thin walled compactly arranged meristematic cells, as I already told you, which have the power of division. And this region helps in longitudinal growth by the addition of new cells because of the presence of meristematic tissues there. Okay, and above that you can find region of elongation. It lies just above the meristematic region. The cells of this region are newly formed and they elongate rapidly. This increases the length of the root. Okay, and the cells of this region help in absorption of minerals and salts. And the next portion that you can see is region of root hair or root absorption. You can see thread-like structures there in the diagram. Those are the root hairs. And surface of this root absorption area is covered with numerous root hairs. The cells of the outer layer known as piliferous layers or epiblema, that is the outer layer, that is known as epiblema. Okay, you have heard the term epidermis, isn't it? So the epidermis present on the root is known as epiblema. Okay, don't get confused, just remember the term. So this epiblema produce root hair. The root hair are elongated single-celled tubular structures which remain in contact with soil particles. The root hair increases the surface area of absorption. They are short-lived and are replaced by new root hair after every 10 to 15 days and is responsible for absorption of water and also minerals and nutrients along with water. Okay, and the next portion is, or the next region of the root is region of maturation or cell differentiation. It forms a major part of the root. The outermost layer of this region has thick walled impermeable cells, and the enlarged cells undergo differentiation to form different types of primary roots like cortex, endodermis, xylem, phloem, etc. These are the parts of the roots. Okay, we'll learn later in this chapter. And this region helps in fixation of plant body into the soil and also in conduction of absorbed substances. And lateral roots also develop from this region of the root. Okay, so what is the function of root? Since childhood only you have learned some of the functions of root. Okay, so let's discuss about it in little elaborated manner. Okay, so the primary function or the functions of the primary root. Okay, so the normal functions of the roots are fixation or anchorage of the plant body into the soil. Okay, absorption of water and minerals from the soil and conduction of absorbed materials up to the base of the stem. And secondary function is, in some plants, roots perform certain special functions. Okay, and such roots undergo necessary modifications. Some roots become fleshy or swollen for the storage of food materials, for example carrot, radish, asparagus, sweet potato, dahlia, etc. Okay, these are the modified roots, and these are modified for the function of, or for functioning the storage thing. Okay, and after becoming green, some roots manufacture food by photosynthesis, for example tinospora, orchids, etc. Okay, and some roots help in exchange of gases also, that is they perform respiration, example rhizopora. Okay, and in parasitic plants like cuscuta, adventitious roots penetrate the host system to obtain food and water. Sometimes roots also take part in vegetative reproduction, that is in case of sweet potato. Okay, one of the example. And aerial roots, they absorb moisture from the air, for example in orchids. So thus modified roots, they perform various functions. Okay, so let's see what tap roots are. Okay, tap roots are the true roots. Okay, they develop from the radical of an embryo during seed germination. Okay, so the root that develops from the radical of an embryo during seed germination is called true root or tap root. So the main root is called the primary root. Okay, and it branches of first order are called secondary roots. Okay, if you have noticed a root, the main root will be termed as primary root, and there are some branches coming out from the main root, those are the secondary roots. Okay, and branches of secondary order are called tertiary roots. Okay, and so on. And the main root along with its branches, they form a tap root system, and such kind of root you can see in sunflower, mustard, etc. Okay, reason of a taproot system is a characteristic feature of dicotyledonous plants. The taproot normally grows vertically downwards to a lesser or greater depth, while secondary and tertiary roots grow obliquely towards, or some grow horizontally outwards. Okay, all lateral branches are produced in acropetal succession, that is the older and the longer branches are near the base and the younger and the shorter ones are near the apex of the main root. And the other type of root is adventitious root system. Okay, a root that develops from any other part other than the radical is known as adventitious roots. Such roots may develop from the bases of the stem, nodes, or from leaves. Okay, it is not necessary for such root to develop from radicals only. It can develop from any other part of the plant body, like stems, nodes, or from leaves also. Okay, in monocots, radical is short lived, and from the base of the stem a thick cluster of all equal sized roots arises. This is known as the adventitious root system. For example, maize, wheat, sugarcane, etc. You can find adventitious root in these plants. Okay, and these adventitious roots are also known as fibrous root system. Okay, because they look like fibers, and fibrous roots do not grow very deep into the soil. Okay, so that was about the function. So I told about modifications of roots in previous slide. Okay, so what are the various modifications, or why are the modifications there? So in taproot, the modifications is for the for the role of storage of food or for respiration, and in case of adventitious roots, modification is done for storage of food, for support, and some other special functions. Okay, so let's talk about modification of taproot. That is, number one was storage of food. Okay, so the taproot or primary root, they becomes fleshy, okay, and swollen due to the stored food. The secondary roots remain thin. Hypocytil, that is embryonic region between cotyledons and radicle, they may join the tap in storing food. Okay, stem is reduced and discoid at the beginning and bears radical leaves. The swollen taproot, they acquires some typical shape and is accordingly classified into the following three types. See there, radish, beetroot, carrot, they have different shapes, isn't it? So these carrot, beetroot, radish are the root. Okay, and they are performing the functions of storage. Okay, that is why we eat this beetroot, carrot, radish, isn't it? Because they have stored food on them. Okay, so see the shape. What are the different shapes? Fusiform shape. Okay, the other one is conical shape, and conical shape in case of carrot, fusiform shape in case of radish. Okay, and napiform root or the napiform shape in case of beet and all. Okay, so these are the various shapes. So next function of modification of taproot was for respiration. Okay, so plants growing in saline swamps, marshy places, and salt lakes are called halophytes. Okay, and many halophytes develop special kind of roots called respiratory roots or pneumatophores. Okay, roots of these plants do not get air for respiration as the soil is waterlogged. As a result, absorption of minerals is affected. Okay, so what happens? Such plants, they produce special roots from the underground roots of the plant near the soil, as you can see in the figure also. Okay, those grow vertically upwards. Vertically upwards means that is negatively geotropic, away from the soil. Okay, and they come out of the soil in the form of conical spikes. They occur in large number around the tree trunk and are provided with pores called lenticles. The lenticles help in gaseous exchange required for respiration. Okay, so this kind of roots you can see in Rhizophora, Avicennia, okay, etc. So other one was modification in adventitious roots. Okay, the first function was storage of food, like simple tuberous roots. These roots become swollen. Okay, and they do not have a definite shape. They are always borne singly. Okay, and the roots arise from the nodes of the stem and enter in the soil. Example: sweet potato. And fasciculated tuberous roots are also there, for example dahlia, asparagus. Okay, a cluster of adventitious roots of some plants, they become thick, fleshy due to storage of food. Okay, such kind of roots are fasciculated tuberous roots. Okay, and prop roots are also there. These prop roots are the modification of adventitious roots, and these roots provide mechanical support in case of banyan tree and all, if you have seen. Okay, and climbing roots are also there in money plant, in kali mirch, that is pepper and all. Okay, that helps them to climb. And also stilt roots are there that provides the mechanical support. So these roots normally arise from a few lower nodes of a weak stem in some monocots, shrubs, and small trees. Okay, they grow obliquely downwards and penetrate the soil and provide mechanical support to the plant. In plants like maize, sugarcane, bajra, jawar, the roots grow in whorls. After penetrating the soil, they provide support to the plant. Okay, and these roots, like in case of in screw pine or pandanus, these roots arise only from the lower surface of the obliquely growing stem to provide support, and these roots bear much folded multiple root caps. Okay, so these were the modifications of roots. So kindly also refer your NCERT book, okay, to know more about the roots. In the next video we'll learn about other parts of the plant. Thank you.